On August 17th, buyer's agent commissions will change dramatically. Buyer's agent commission was the subject of a recent lawsuit and settlement involving the National Association of Realtors. The terms of the settlement changed how buyer's agent commissions will be paid going forward. The buyer's agent commission will no longer be paid by the seller. Instead, the buyer's agent commission will be negotiated between the buyer and the buyer's agent. Prior to the NAR lawsuit and settlement, the amount of the buyer's agent commission was determined by the seller and listing agent. Contrary to what some might have assumed, the buyer's agent commission was paid by the seller, not the buyer. When a property was listed, the seller agreed to a total commission fee that covered both the listing agent and the buyer's agent. This fee was then split between the two agents upon the sale of the property. While the exact percentage varied, you often saw 2% to 3% of the sale price. Post-NAR lawsuit and settlement, and starting August 17th, the buyer will be responsible for paying their own agent. Buyers will have the ability to discuss and agree upon commission rates with their agents. Another major change is that prior to touring a home or working with a buyer's agent, buyers will now be required to sign a buyer-agent agreement. The buyer-agent agreement is a written agreement between the buyer and their agent describing the buyer's agent commission and obligations of the parties. The buyer's agent commission amount can be anything that the buyer and the agent negotiate, a flat fee or a percentage of the purchase price. However, there is nothing precluding the buyer from asking the seller or their listing agent to pay the buyer's agent fee negotiated in the buyer's agent agreement. In fact, the buyer can make paying their buyer's agent commission a term in their offer to the seller, or the seller may offer seller concessions to the buyer to offset any commission amounts that the buyer contracted to pay their agent. And in some cases, the seller may offer to outright pay the commission to the buyer's agent. The main thing to understand about the buyer's agent commission is that the buyer will be obligated to pay their own buyer agent through the written buyer-agent agreement. But the buyer is allowed to attempt to recoup that money. If you have any questions about the new changes, call Beaches Residential Real Estate. You've heard the name.